Once upon a time, there were two lovebirds, 𝐒𝐈𝐷 and 𝐒𝐿𝐴. They were head over heels for each other. One thing that really bonded them was their love for competition. They enjoyed challenging each other, just to be the best they could be. Of course, all the competitiveness was friendly and well-intentioned. Sometimes they'd play tag or hide-and-seek like kids. They were both sort of adult children. After many years together, they decided to tie the knot. They both jumped into the wedding planning game, trying to outdo each other in finding the perfect venue at the perfect price. But there was a snag in their otherwise smooth relationship. 𝐒𝐈𝐷 couldn't shake off his jealousy towards 𝐒𝐿𝐴's childhood friend, Amelia. He was convinced that Amelia had feelings for 𝐒𝐿𝐴 and would do anything to ruin their wedding. 𝐒𝐿𝐴 had to constantly reassure him that he was just imagining things and that there was no need to worry. "You shouldn't feel this way. Amelia is my oldest friend," 𝐒𝐿𝐴 reassured 𝐒𝐈𝐷. "Just answer me this," 𝐒𝐈𝐷 pressed. "Did you ever have feelings for her?" 𝐒𝐿𝐴 hesitated before admitting, "Yes, I did, but it was a long time ago. Please understand." 𝐒𝐈𝐷 wasn't satisfied with her response. "You need to uninvite her." "Are you serious? She's part of my bridal party. I can't uninvite her. I don't know if I can handle seeing her there on our wedding day." "It's supposed to be perfect," 𝐒𝐈𝐷 protested. The couple stared each other down, silently daring one another to back down. Eventually, 𝐒𝐿𝐴 gave in. "Fine. If it makes you happy, I'll talk to her." Months later, the wedding day arrived. The engaged couple had put their past arguments behind them and were just excited for the day. 𝐒𝐿𝐴 managed to secure the perfect venue at a great price, her parents' grand Victorian mansion. The ceremony would be in the beautiful gardens, with the reception inside. As guests settled in, 𝐒𝐿𝐴, hidden near the aisle's end. Suddenly, 𝐒𝐈𝐷 appeared next to her. "Babe, you're not supposed to see here," 𝐒𝐿𝐴 whispered. "Why is she here? You said she wouldn't come." "Oh my God, Amelia is just sitting in the back. She's not part of the bridal party anymore. You don't have to see or talk to her," 𝐒𝐿𝐴 replied. "But I did see her, and I can't believe you do this to me." 𝐒𝐈𝐷's voice rose. "Seriously? You're starting this right now?" 𝐒𝐿𝐴 retorted. Their voices attracted attention, making the guests turn, curious to see what was happening. "How about we play a game of hide-and-seek with the guests? That always cheers you up. Then I'll talk to Amelia." "Deal?" 𝐒𝐿𝐴 suggested. 𝐒𝐈𝐷 signed. "I'm sorry, I know I'm acting ridiculous. I know she's important to you, and it's not fair of me to act this way. I love you." "I love you too." "Okay, let's play. I'll be it." Before the ceremony, all the guests were all informed of the game of hide-and-seek, so all they played it willingly. 𝐒𝐿𝐴 counted down from 30, then everyone scattered to hide. With the property being so big, there was plenty of space. "Ready or not, here I come," 𝐒𝐿𝐴 shouted. Since she grew up in the house, she knew it inside out, so quickly found everyone. Except the groom. The other guests joined in the search, with some whispering that 𝐒𝐈𝐷 might have chickened out and left. After a thorough search, 𝐒𝐿𝐴 broke down in tears. Amelia came over and shared what she saw. "I hate to say it, but I think I saw 𝐒𝐈𝐷 running out of the gates during the game. He might come back, but I'm not sure. I'm really sorry," she said. Realizing the wedding was off, the guests left for home disappointed, while Amelia stayed with 𝐒𝐿𝐴 to offer comfort. "You're my best friend, and I'll always be here for you. Remember," she said, pointing out her pinky finger. "Together forever." The bride smiled, wiped the tears from her eyes, and hooked her pinky aunt's Amelia's and said, "No matter whatever." Years passed, and Amelia and 𝐒𝐿𝐴 grew closer than ever. Fond memories of old crushes turned into casual dates, which quickly led to an unexpected engagement. Guessed the wedding venue? It was 𝐒𝐿𝐴's parents' Victorian mansion. 𝐒𝐿𝐴's parents were a bit surprised that another daughter wanted to have her wedding there. Again. but above all, they just wanted her to be happy. So, Amelia, Mocha, and her parents started cleaning out the mansion. While searching for tablecloths and decor upstairs, Mocha stumbled upon a door she didn't remember from her childhood. "Mom, was this door always here?" she called down to her mother, who explained, "Oh, that room was added a couple of years ago to store old stuff." Mocha opened the door to find a very messy and dusty room filled with boxes and furniture. In the center was a large antique trunk, still locked with the key inside. Curious, she turned the key and lifted the heavy lid with both hands. A terrible smell filled the air as she peered inside. To her horror, she saw the rotting corpse of a man, identified by his dusty and rumpled suit as Shinobi. There were scratch marks and dried blood inside the lid. As Mocha turned around, she saw Amelia in the doorway. "Amy, you said you saw him leave the property. You knew he was in here, didn't you?" Mocha asked, her voice trembling. Amelia remained emotionless. "We made a promise, Mocha, and I wasn't going to let anyone get in between us, don't you remember?" she said, pointing out her pinky finger. "Together forever, no matter whatever." My husband Jack and I had taken our family to the Central Park to join the New Year's Eve festivities, but little did I know it would turn into a nightmare for me. In a moment of inattention, I lost sight of Emily, my 5-year-old daughter. She had been right beside me just seconds before. I dashed around frantically, calling out her name in vain, my heart sinking in fear and despair. People around began to notice something was amiss and joined in the search, but there was no sign of Emily. Now, the fireworks in the sky no longer brought joy, but served as a grim reminder of my utter agony. As night fell, I returned home with a heavy heart, uncertain of what to do next. Just then, the doorbell rang. An anonymous package lay at my doorstep. With a mix of suspicion and a glimmer of hope, I opened it to find a beautifully wrapped apple pie box. With mixed emotions, I placed the box on the table and carefully cut it open. But nothing could have prepared me for the horror that was about to unfold. As the knife sliced through the pie, a thick red liquid oozed out, staining everything around. I recoiled in shock, but as I looked inside the pie, I discovered a doll missing an arm and a leg, its hair tangled, with Emily's hair clip attached to its head. At that moment, I didn't know what to feel: fear, anger, or anguish. I rushed outside, screaming my daughter's name, hoping this was just a terrible joke. But there was no response. Tears streamed down my face as I clutched the terrifying doll, thinking of my little girl. The following day, the darkest day, arrived with a call from the local police, shattering my faint hopes. They had found Emily, but not in any state a mother could ever prepare herself to face. She was discovered by a lake near our house, a place we often visited on weekends. Heartbreakingly, Emily had been stripped of all her organs, her small body lying motionless on the damp grass. When Jack and I arrived at the scene, what we saw rendered us speechless. Police lights cast a cold blue glow over our daughter's pale face. Despite being mentally prepared, nothing could lessen the agony of seeing her like that. I fainted right there. In the days that followed, the investigation continued without progress. Who had done this to Emily, and why they had sent that pie to our family remained a mystery. Each day I felt as if a part of me had died with my daughter. The loss was irreparable, and the pain unending. This event left a deep scar on our hearts and souls. Now, when New Year's is mentioned, instead of happy memories, we only recall the horror and irreparable loss. New Year's Day is no longer a celebration, but a day of mourning and sorrow. A day where the memory of a joyful, lively child is replaced by the last image of her lying motionless by the lake. In the heart of the Midwest, where the sky often turned a ghastly shade of green, there lived a man named Adrian. Yes, that's me, a stubborn soul with a penchant for adrenaline. I will never forget my own story that day. A story about my weirdest experience with a deadly tornado. The sirens had wailed their foreboding song, a warning of the tempest that tore towards town, but I scoffed. "Just a bit of wind and rain," I muttered, sliding behind the wheel of my rusted pickup. Those very sirens designed to herald danger had now become the ambient noise to an adventure I conjured in my head. The radio crackled, broadcasting urgent pleas for shelter, but I, with a grin, tuned to my favorite rock station instead, the guitar solos a fitting soundtrack to my defiance. As I drove towards the brooding horizon, a monumental shadow loomed ahead. The tornado, an ethereal titan, twisted maliciously across the plains. It was beautiful, mesmerizing, and otherworldly. Its power is undeniable. My heart thrummed with exhilaration as I drove closer, the wind's wails growing louder, mirroring the music blasting from my speakers. Then, with a suddenness that stole my breath, the world flipped. The tornado had chosen me, sweeping my pickup in a monstrous embrace. The thrill dissolved into terror as I spiraled helplessly within the vortex. Phone signals were devoured by the whirlwind just as my cries were lost to the roar. No one could hear me, no one could reach me. Battling panic, I remembered an old myth. The eye of the storm was the calmest. Pushing the accelerator, I aimed to ride the swirling rage, to stay ensconced in that elusive center. It was an unforgiving dance with nature, a deadly waltz I now regret initiating. That's when the peculiarity began. Amidst the chaos, figures emerged, not of this world, contorted by the violent air yet moving with purpose. They were specters of dust and debris, forming and reforming in blinks, watching me, reaching out, almost beseeching. Drawn in horror and fascination, I barely noticed the melody that began to permeate the cacophony. A lullaby, gentle and soothing, oddly juxtaposed against the fury outside. As if a ghost of warmth within the maelstrom, a woman materialized beside my vehicle, ethereal as the whispers of forgotten secrets. Her voice, a serene contrast to the discordant elements, wove through my senses, pulling me into a deep, ensnaring slumber. When consciousness returned, the world was a different painting, a canvas of peace with the morning sun caressing the battered landscape. My eyes fluttered open to a stillness that felt alien after the tumult. My pickup, a little worse for wear, lay nestled against a fallen tree. My body ached, but I was alive, unharmed. And the woman, the mystic siren of the storm, was but a memory etched into my rattled mind. I stepped out into the aftermath, the silence deafening after the screams of wind. Houses torn apart, lives uprooted, a community in shards. And yet, through the devastation, there was a thread of resilience, of a certainty that stunned me. They would rebuild as they always did, with the wisdom to hearken to warnings. My encounter with the tornado wasn't just a brush with death. It was an intimate dance with the surreal, a delirium that pushed the boundaries of belief, coaxing me to question the nature of what I saw within the storm's eye. A haunting melody lingered in my ears, a lullaby I would never forget, twined with an enigma that left me pondering whether I had touched upon a hidden reality or if the tempest had played with my mind, a puppeteer's manipulation of sanity.